All right, let's get into it. You know, there are some phrases we hear so often, they almost become invisible. They're like background noise we just agree with without really thinking about what they mean. Today, we're going to take one of those lines, a really famous one, and we're going to crack it right open. We're going to find the surprisingly tough, disciplined philosophy that's been hiding inside it all along.
And there it is. I mean, you've seen this everywhere, right? On a coffee mug, an Instagram post, a sympathy card. And on the surface, it feels nice. It's a comforting thing to say to someone who's going through a tough time. It feels gentle, maybe even a little soft.
Yeah, that's the gut reaction, isn't it? That this is just a sentimental thought designed to make us feel a little better. But what if that's a total misreading? What if this isn't some soft, gentle suggestion, but actually a really hard-edged command? And that's exactly our jumping off point today. The source material for this whole analysis argues that this quote is the exact opposite of sentimental. It's a hard line, a really challenging, disciplined way to look at life, at loss, and at how we remember things. So let's unpack what that really means. So, what does this hard line actually look like when you live it? Well, it's all built on a concept the source calls temporal honesty. And that's really just a way of saying we need to be honest about time itself and how it really works, even when that honesty is painful. So here's the absolute core of the idea. Endings are not failures. It's as simple and as complicated as that. Everything ends. People, jobs, relationships, seasons, even the person you used to be. Temporal honesty is the active discipline of looking back at something that's over and refusing, absolutely refusing, to poison that memory just to make the ending easier to deal with. And that refusal is so important because it helps us avoid a huge mistake we all tend to make. We have this deep-seated habit of judging an entire experience, months, years, even decades, just by how it ended. And the source argues that this is a really profound and damaging error. This lays it out perfectly. Look at the two paths. On the left is how a lot of us think. If it's over, something must have gone wrong. It was a waste of time, a bad investment. That logic is so tempting, right? Because it gives you a simple, clean story, even if it's a bitter one. But look at the right. Temporal honesty gives us a tougher but truer way of seeing it. The value of the thing was real, and that value is not erased just because the thing itself is gone. This is such a powerful idea. Think about it. A job can be absolutely perfect for you for 5 years. A friendship can be the most important thing in the world for a specific chapter of your life. Just because that chapter ends doesn't mean the friendship was a mistake. It was correct when it existed. Its value was real in that moment. Okay, so if we can start to accept that things can end without being failures, how does that actually change how we feel? Well, it opens up the possibility for a pretty surprising emotional state, a place where two feelings you'd think are opposites can actually live together. Now, let's be crystal clear about something. This whole philosophy is not about pretending loss doesn't hurt. It's not about good vibes only or some kind of toxic positivity. Smiling because it happened doesn't mean you're in denial about the pain that it's over. The pain is real. The real goal here is what the source calls emotional accuracy. It's about having the maturity to hold two truths in your hands at the very same time. You can feel the sharp gut punch of grief for the loss, and you can feel the deep, warm gratitude for what you had. One doesn't have to cancel the other out. And that's the equation, right there. It's not a contradiction. It's actually a richer, more complete, and more honest way of being human. You can mourn that a chapter of your life is over, while at the same time deeply respecting and honoring everything that chapter gave to you. And this skill, this ability to hold both grief and gratitude is so incredibly powerful because of what comes next. See, we can't control loss. It happens. But we have an amazing amount of control over what we do after the loss. We control the story. We control the narration. Think of it like this. Step 1, something happens. The loss occurs. That part's not up to you. But then comes step 2, and this is the crucial part. You begin to tell a story about that loss. To yourself, to your friends, and that story, the one you choose to tell, is what determines what the memory will ultimately become for you. So you stand at a fork in the road. You can choose to narrate the loss in a way that turns the memory into this open wound that you just keep picking at, a story defined only by its painful ending. Or you can narrate it as a record of meaning, something valuable that was a part of your life, which you now get to carry with you. Bitterness isn't caused by the loss. It's caused by the story you tell about the loss. But this raises a really big question, right? If we actually have a choice in this, why do so many of us, maybe all of us at some point, choose the path that poisons the memory? Why do we choose to corrupt something that was once so good? And this is the source's answer. It's unflinching, and it's probably true. We do it because it's a defense mechanism. It's a way to manage the pain. If you can convince yourself that that person or that job or that time in your life was actually worthless all along, well, then its absence doesn't hurt quite as much. To admit that it mattered, that it truly mattered, is to admit that you were vulnerable, that you were changed by it. And that is a much, much harder truth to live with.
So let's pull all these ideas together into one final big picture philosophy. The source calls this grace under entropy, which is really about finding a way to live with integrity in a world where, let's face it, everything eventually falls apart. Now, it's really important to draw a line between this idea and simple nostalgia. Nostalgia clings to the past. It wants to live there. It stalls your future because you're constantly looking backward. This philosophy, this grace, is totally different. It honors what was real, and then it releases it. It allows you to actually move forward without having to deny or forget what happened.
And this isn't just some abstract theory. It produces real, tangible results in a person. Someone who lives this way grieves cleanly, without letting it turn into bitterness. They remember what happened accurately, without twisting the story. They honor things without getting trapped by them. And that last line is just so powerful. They learn how to carry their dead, the people, the dreams, the versions of themselves they've lost, without being buried by the weight of it all. Which brings us all the way back to where we started, that smile. After everything we've talked about, we can see it differently now. It's not the simple, easy smile of being happy. It's the hard one, profound smile of acknowledgement. It's a way of standing and saying, this mattered. I was here. They were here. And that fact, that it was, is enough.
And in the end, that's really what it's all about. Nothing in life comes with a promise that it will last forever. But this path, this philosophy, it offers something maybe even better. A promise that you can maintain your integrity, your wholeness, as people and experiences and entire chapters of your life pass through your hands. It's the art of letting go without becoming any smaller.